Hey there, this is Molly, and we're going to take a look at the Capricorn Solstice. It's typically known as the winter solstice, but that's only here in the northern hemisphere. In the southern hemisphere, it's the summer solstice. So I just decided to call it the Capricorn Solstice, which is happening on December 21st, 2020 at 5:20 a.m. So we're going to take a look at this chart. And you might find this chart to look really similar to the one that I showed you in the Jupiter-Saturn conjunction video. And that's because the solstice happens right after, or right before, I should say, the exact conjunction between Jupiter and Saturn. So you'll see here that we have the Sun at 0 degrees of Capricorn exactly conjunct Mercury at 0 degrees Capricorn, nearly 1 minute. And so this means there's information, there's a lot going on, there's correspondence, communications, perhaps getting those holiday cards in the mail, there's announcements. The Capricorn energy is about the public figures, authority figures, corporations, politics, governments, all the things that we see in the world. And we've been talking about Capricorn all year long. And this is interesting how Capricorn season begins just as we shift into Aquarius energies. So the Sun and Mercury in Capricorn are making announcements. They have things to say in a public format, and there could be a lot happening with that conjunction. So we then look at how the energies of Capricorn are ruled by Saturn, and Saturn is now at 0 degrees of Aquarius conjunct Jupiter. This is the energy of the people, the future, humanity, what you want, where you're going, what's next for you. And there is an energy here of excitement, typically in Aquarius, new potentials, new solutions, new possibilities. There could be announcements about technologies, announcements about what's going to be started in the new year. And there's something here that is showing us what we want, even that sense of after everything that 2020 has brought up and revealed, where are we going next? And this is where there could be announcements from businesses around their new year plan or how they've adapted and had to change throughout 2020 and then what they're going to do going forward. This is going to be really strong in our communities, neighborhoods, activities, things that you're a part of. This could be also, for example, schools now making announcements for what they're going to do going forward. So there's a seriousness here around our responsibilities to each other, to the community at large, and what needs to be put into place. Saturn is about the realities of our lives, the reality of our world, and what we have to take note of, where we need to act accordingly, and what that means, how that really looks in our daily lives. So Saturn and Jupiter are together here, starting the very beginning of Aquarius. I did a separate video for you about that, so I don't want to repeat myself too much here, other than this is an important day for the new energies coming in. It would be very good to set your intentions here, to be aware of your energy, of what you want to do now and what you want to do next in your life. The 0 degrees here, you can see 0, 0, 0, 0, is the birthing of new energies. And it's about taking something seriously, really trusting what you're being called forward to do, where you find that things really matter in your life and you want to make new commitments. This can also be about looking at what you're ready to create next. Aquarius is very creative, lots of ideas, lots of things that go through the mind, even things that have never been thought of before. Very unique essence here. So there's something about this day that's very powerful. And whatever you can do to make the most of all these 0-0 energies, you might find that something comes through to support you in ways that you wouldn't have predicted or that you couldn't have known. Now, the other thing that's strong here about this chart is that you'll see that the moon is just past the conjunction with Neptune. And this would have been exact about 12 hours, less than 12 hours before. So we'll call it December 20th. And this energy of the moon conjunct Neptune is very dreamy, perhaps tired, ready for a break, doesn't really feel grounded in reality. There's also a development of our psychic senses, our intuitive nature here, and a need for privacy or alone time. So that's really interesting when you look at it in regards to how the world could be requiring things from us, but there's a part of us that just wants to take some time and relax and not force anything. We also have over here, you can see this is Venus. She's now at 7 degrees of Sag, and she just had a lovely trine to Chiron at 4 degrees, almost 5 degrees Aries. And this is good for relationships, even something you want to make right or improve or make better. There's something here where there's energy around repairing relationships, or even assessing what is necessary this time of year. We also have Mars at 23 degrees of Aries. What does that mean? Well, that's very important because it's the third and final square to Pluto at 23 degrees Capricorn. And this has been an ongoing dialogue we've been talking about since September. Third and final square means whatever has been decided by officials, those in authority, those in control. Mars has had to go slow and has been very uncomfortable, angry, pissed off, frustrated, upset. The third and final square is the completion of a process. This Mars has grown and matured through his ongoing dialogues with not only Pluto in Capricorn, but he was also conversing with Jupiter and Saturn in Capricorn. So there's something here, though, that is reaching a culmination point in a big way, in a very big way, that affects the people. And now the energy has shifted to the people, away from the focus on Capricorn. So there's an interesting dance here, perhaps around what's being reestablished or newly established. There could be very public outbursts, very clear demonstrations of this Mars in Aries, who actually could also be tired because this Mars has been slowed down by all these squares to the planets that were in Capricorn and could just be a little bit battle weary. But once he passes this degree point, you'll see how he's right now at 23 degrees 5 minutes. Pluto's at 23 degrees 51 minutes. So once this Mars gets to 24 degrees, he's free and clear of the power struggle with Pluto. Pluto always wins. Pluto is the greater power, so to speak, the bigger energy, the bigger force. Pluto has permanently changed this Mars. Mars is different now. And you could look at this in terms of your sense of self, your ego, your divine masculine energies, your sense of what you want. How has what you want changed since August, if you can even remember? And now that Mars is going to move forward here, he is going to be unleashed and have a greater understanding of what he wants. Now, Mars will still be in his shadow until January 6th, and then he will enter Taurus. So this Mars has been figuring himself out, what he wants, where he's going next. But this energy is very strong in this chart. And typically these solstice charts, when we have a beginning of a season, they're energetically strong for 3 months until the spring equinox or the Aries equinox, which will be March 20th or 21st. I haven't looked yet. So this energy gets activated and gets played out over the course of the season. Capricorn begins a season, just like every cardinal sign begins a season. So Mars is finishing up his struggles from 2020 while there's fresh air, new things coming through, a new chapter, a new day has dawned at the same time. And it could be that you really had to realign priorities against your will, by the way, by the forces that be, by things that you can't control, that were too powerful. I mean, this would be the COVID lockdown rules. This is the restlessness. I just want to go. I just want to be free. Just let me out of here. I need to move. That's going to be shifting towards the end of December, especially. So very interesting mix of energies here. But good to be aware of what we're starting the season with, what is beginning, what is moving through, and what we are learning now, especially when we look back at how much has changed in 12 months. Because it was January 2020 that COVID started. And we look back on a year ago, chances are the holiday seasons are very different this year. I mean, that's so obvious, right? But it's shows us how much can change in a year. I feel like this Aquarius energy, though, brings in hope. It brings in something to move towards, to develop, to build, based on the state of the world now. Where are you going? Where are you going? How have you changed permanently? How have your priorities shifted? But what do you want to move into as 2021 begins? So this is a rather quick video, but I thought it was important to do because of how the energy signature has shifted, about how there is now literally fresh air in the mix. We're going to still see the tension here between this Mars and Pluto play out, but there's something that we're meant to do going forward that is bringing us into higher alignment with what you want now, what's important, what's essential, and what you want to take seriously. And that's always what we do in Capricorn season, is we take things seriously. We look at our commitments, our obligations, but we also look at our self-respect, our personal integrity, how we've walked through this year, how we've moved through this time. That's been very challenging, very hard, and you're still here. You're still going. There's going to be new opportunities as we go into January, and make sure that you're traveling with a sense of strength and a sense of who you have become during this very interesting and powerful year. So thank you so much for joining me as I look at this Capricorn solstice energies and what could be on the horizon for us as we move into a new year. And you can also check out my 2021 Soul Growth Astrology webinar program, where I go through all of the main astrology of 2021. It is intermediate level, meaning you should already have the basics of astrology down, and you bring your chart and we go through what is happening in the transiting planets and how that could be showing up for you in your chart. So check out those details below. Otherwise, I look forward to talking to you again soon for our next chart. And of course, you can also listen to my next podcast episodes, which come out every Monday and Wednesday. Thank you so much for joining me. I greatly appreciate your likes, shares, subscribes, comments, and most importantly, thank you for sharing this journey through 2020. What a year, what a ride, and we're going to keep on going. I'll see you back here soon.